Okay, so let's move on to the next section. It's plurality with elimination. So this is going to start the same as the plurality from back in 4.2 with another twist on it. It says, all right, so use a preference schedule to do multiple rounds. Only first place votes count. That was how plurality works. After each round, eliminate the remaining candidate with the fewest votes. All right, so what's that mean here? Well, we have to eliminate the remaining candidate with the fewest votes and transfer their votes. We're going to use a preference schedule to assign the eliminated candidate's votes to the next place candidate in the minds of those particular voters. We will continue until someone has a majority. All right? So we're going to go round after round with this thing, just using the preference schedule they gave us until somebody has a majority. All right, so the first step is to figure out what's a majority. Okay, so let's add up the number of votes here. 12 plus 11, 23, 30, 36, 41, 45. So there's 45 votes, okay? What's a majority? Well, a majority is more than half, right? So 45 over 2, that's 22.5. And the first whole number bigger than that is 23. So there's my majority, 23, right? You just need the first whole number that's bigger than halfway. Okay, so now we'll do the voting. Remember, only first place votes count. And it looks like we have A, B, C, D, and E in this one. A, B, C, D, and E. So let's go across. So C gets 12. And then B gets 11. Going across the first row, A gets 7. D gets 6. A gets 5 more. D gets 4 more. Oh, E didn't have any, so E's at none, right? So we add those up, 12, 11, 12, 10, and none. All right, that's the first round's complete. Nobody has the 23, so we eliminate the lowest vote getter. Well, in this case, the lowest vote getter, E, has none. So this thing says transfer their votes. Well, there's no votes to transfer. So we go to round 2, and in round 2, still nobody has 23. I mean, there were no votes to transfer. So now we eliminate the lowest vote getter again. Okay, this time it's D has 10, is going to be eliminated. So now we come back over here, and we find the 2 that D has. So D here has been eliminated and we just move down. The next voter in that column is B, so B gets those 6 votes. And then D is also eliminated here. The next voter in that column is C, so C gets those 4 votes. So after this round, we have 12, 17, and 16. All right, we're getting there. Still nobody's made it to 23 yet, right? So A has the least votes at this point. A is eliminated. And we go back and have another look. So where did A win? Okay, so A won here. So those 7 votes, the next one is C. So C gets those 7. The other place A won is here in the 5 column. Well, the next one down is D, but D's been eliminated. So eliminate that. And then E, well, E's been eliminated. And then finally, the first person who's not eliminated in that column is B, so B gets those 5 votes. All right, there's our winner. C has 23 votes, which is the majority, so C won this one, but just barely. There is a method listed in the book. I think I'm not going to take the time to show you how to do it. It really works. It's almost the same as what we just did. If you read it here, the top 2 IRV method, it's the same as plurality with elimination, except that at most 2 rounds. If there's no winner after the first round, right? If after the first round there's no majority, nobody has a majority, you eliminate all but the top 2 vote getters, and you assign their votes the same way that the votes were assigned in the plurality with elimination method. Okay? So it'll work the same way as this, except in the second round you're going to eliminate 3 of the voters, whichever 3 were the 3 lowest in the first round, and assign all their votes the same way as we assigned these. Okay, that's it for that one. We have one more method, and that is called the method of pairwise comparisons. After this, we have a sort of a wrap-up in the last section. All right, 4.5, pairwise comparisons. What happens is you literally do each candidate head-to-head with every other candidate, okay? So the way you do this for each pairing is if there's a clear winner, then the winner gets 1 and the loser gets 0. If there's a tie, then you give half a point to each candidate. And you're going to compare each candidate. It's kind of what they call a round robin. So each candidate will play every other candidate. So the way that works out, for example, if we've got 4 candidates, A, B, C, and D. So you would do A versus B, and then A versus C, and then A versus D. All right? So what happens there then is that when you get to B first, B's already played A, right? So then you do B versus C and B versus D. Okay? And then you get to C. C's already played A and B, so you do C versus D, and that was all the head-to-heads. Then you just add up all the points. Okay? So let's see how this works out. Here's the way that I do it. I will track them like this. So I'm going to write A, B, C, D. Okay? And then I'm going to go A versus B. Okay. So here I'm going to just write all the different contests we're going to do. A versus C and A versus D. And then B versus C, B versus D, and then C versus D. That's all the contests, right? And then in each one, I'm just going to count. I'm only going to write down the number of votes for the one that's listed first. And the reason I'm going to do that, so let's go along here and see how many votes it takes to win. So 22 plus 18 is 40, plus 10 is 50, plus 9 is 59, plus 6 is 65, plus 1 is 66, right? So you need one more. So 66, so half of 66 is 33. In this case, 33 is a tie, right? And so we'll just count the votes. So first round, A versus B. All right, so in these 22, B wins. I'm not going to count those. For these 18, A wins. For these 10, A beats B again. For these 9, B wins. For these 6, A beats B again. And for the last one, A beats B. 18, 28, 34, 35. A won that one, right? So there's 1. A versus C. All right, so C wins that one. A wins this one. There's 18 again. So let's look at the third column here. A wins again, so there's 10. In the fourth column, A wins again, there's 9. I don't really need to go any further, do I? Because 18 and 10 is 28 and 9 is 37. You could keep doing it though. A wins the last 2 as well. So that's 18, 28, 37, 44. A won that one. That's 2 for A. All right, let's look at the next one. A versus D. Well, A wins the first one this time, right? So we'll count those 22. And then D wins the second one. We won't count that. And then A wins the third one. So that's worth 10. D wins the fourth one. A wins the fifth one. And A wins the sixth one. 22, 32, 38, 39. Again, that's more than the 33, so A won again. All right, let's look at this one. A won all 3 times, right? There's 4 competitors. A beat them all head to head. A is gonna win, all right? Because since A won every single one of the round robins, nobody else can do it. So if the question was only asking you who won, you could stop right here. A lot of times, though, they want a complete ranking. They want to know who won, who came in second, who came in third. So then for that state, we'll have to finish. B versus C. Now remember, I'm only recording the letter that comes first. So B and C, well, C wins the first one. I won't record that. B and C. B wins the second one, and so there's that. B and C in the third column. So B wins the third one. There's 10. In the fourth column, B wins again. There's 9. In the fifth column, C wins. I won't record that one. And the last column, B wins, we'll record it 28, 37, 38. B beats C. Right? B versus D. So in the first column, B wins. So there's 22. In the second column, D wins. I'm not going to record that. In the third column, B wins. So there's 10. In the fourth column, B wins. There's 9. In the fifth column, D wins. In the sixth column, D wins. 32, there's 41. B won again. So far, this is kind of like higher in the alphabet wins, right? That's just luck. It doesn't normally work that way. All right. C versus D is our last contest. The first column, C wins, so there's 22. In the second column, D wins. I won't record it. In the third column, D wins. I won't record it. In the fourth column, D wins again. The fifth column, D wins. Actually, D wins every time except the first one. C only had 22, which is less than enough for a tie, right? So D won that one. So here's our deal. A got 3 points, B got 2, C got none, D got 1. So our order for this election is A, B, D, C, if they ask us for a complete order, right? And A is the winner. All right, let's move on to our last section. This one's very short. What's going to happen here? The book talks about an interesting thing with elections. There are various criteria where you might say, from some perspectives, all these criteria would need to be met for an election to be completely and totally fair and perfect, okay? The problem is that this guy named Arrow showed mathematically that it's not possible to come up with a method where all 4 of these hold true, okay? So anyway, it's generally, people have different opinions about which ones are more important, but so what you're going to see is the questions in 4.6 is they will ask you, these are the 4 criteria here, and in this section they're just going to ask you questions. They mix facts basically about these 4 criteria and the other methods. Like they might say, here, do this one by the Borda method. Does the Condorcet candidate win? All right. So you'd need to know the Borda method, so you do it. And then you'd have to figure out whether or not the Condorcet candidate won. As a note, the method to figure out if the Condorcet candidate wins, that's this one right here is the Condorcet one, okay? Condorcet says, this is Condorcet. A Condorcet candidate is a candidate that beats every other candidate in a pairwise comparison, okay? So what you do is you do a pairwise comparison and see if any of the candidates beat every other candidate. Like in our last question from 4.5, A here beat every other candidate. They're Condorcet. Sometimes there is a Condorcet candidate and sometimes there's not. All right, that doesn't have to be. But like in my sample question, you do the board account method, see who won. Then you do the pairwise and see if there's a Condorcet. If there was, did they win or not? That's the kind of thing they're going to ask you. Okay, so it's really just the stuff we've already done combined with thinking about what each of these definitions mean, and they'll tell you what they want. Okay, it really is. I think it's kind of interesting anyway that there's no way, it's not possible to have all 4 of these criteria met. So you're going to want to learn these criteria. Okay, they're in the book in 4.6. They're listed here. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoy the work in this section. I will see you in class.